What would you do if your life was in danger and the only person who could save you was your enemy? In this heart-wrenching episode of Emmerdale, Cain faces a moral dilemma as he races against time to save Joe from Caleb's deadly plot. Will he put aside their differences to save a life? Don't miss this gripping moment that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Cain Dingle's jaw-dropping move, why he saved Joe Tate's life, and what it means for the future of Emmerdale. Emmerdale fans, take a breath. Because if you've been keeping up with this week's episodes, you know it's been an emotional roller coaster of epic proportions. Twists, betrayal, old wounds resurfacing, and a literal life and death moment that changed everything. In a shocking turn of events, Cain Dingle, yes, that Cain, stepped in and saved Joe Tate's life just seconds before tragedy struck. And behind that jaw-clenching moment, a tangled web of secrets involving Caleb Milligan, a stolen kidney, and a family feud that's about to explode. Let's unpack every intense, emotional, and downright wild moment. Because if you thought Emmerdale was slowing down, think again. The storm is just beginning. Caleb's investigation, a mystery years in the making. It all started with a quiet suspicion, a gut feeling Caleb Milligan couldn't shake. Something just wasn't adding up. Ever since his mysterious health issues began, there were signs. Subtle, nagging clues. And Caleb, ever the determined one, couldn't rest until he found out the truth. He retraced his steps, returned to the private clinic where he believed his transplant took place. But what he discovered there sent a chill down his spine. No one named Dr. Crowley had ever worked there. Wait, what? Yep. That's when the puzzle pieces began clicking into place. Caleb had been manipulated, deceived, and someone had taken something from him. Something vital, something irreplaceable. Joe Tate's secret uncovered. The kidney theft comes to light. The mystery thickened when Caleb started investigating Joe Tate's recent injury. It seemed minor on the surface, but it sparked something deep in Caleb. He made his way to Home Farm, determined to dig deeper. And what he found? Shocking. Joe had been taking post-transplant medication, the kind you only need if you've recently had a major organ operation, like, say, a kidney transplant. At that moment, Caleb knew. Joe Tate had stolen his kidney. Anger doesn't even begin to describe it. Caleb was blindsided, betrayed, furious, and in a move that felt personal and gut-wrenching, he confronted Joe and, get this, punched him right in the transplant site, confirming once and for all what had happened. Joe didn't deny it. Instead, he fought back in his own chilling way, by bringing up Anthony's recent death and the web of secrets surrounding it. A dangerous standoff, blackmail, betrayal, and the end of the truce. Now, we're in full standoff territory. Joe and Caleb locked horns, and it was clear, neither man was backing down. Joe had dirt on Caleb. Caleb wanted revenge, and both of them had blood on their hands. The dynamic shifted from secretive rivalry to open war. In a desperate bid to eliminate the threat once and for all, Caleb decided Joe had to go, and he turned to the only person he trusted to help him do the unthinkable, his brother Cain. Cue the intensity. Brothers at odds, Cain and Caleb clash over a deadly plan. Caleb came clean to Ruby, revealing his plan to get rid of Joe. And while Ruby had her doubts, seriously, who wouldn't? Caleb promised her he'd take care of everything. He reassured her the truth would stay buried, no matter what it took. But Cain, he had other ideas. Cain Dingle might not be the moral compass of Emmerdale, but even he has a line he won't cross. Killing Joe wasn't it. He made it clear to Caleb. No one was going to die on his watch, not like this. Still, Caleb wasn't about to be talked down. He summoned Joe to the depot with one thing in mind, revenge. The moment that changed everything, Cain saves Joe. The scene was as tense as it gets. Caleb behind the wheel, engine revving, fury in his eyes, and Joe completely unaware of just how close he was to death. Then, just in time, Cain appeared. He sprinted into the path of the car, yanked Joe out of harm's way, and stopped a tragedy in its tracks. It was a literal life-saving moment. One that left everyone, especially viewers, breathless. Joe, in total disbelief, turned to Caleb and shouted, "I should have known you'd do something like this. This is not over." And you know what? He's right. Aftermath. Family tensions boil over Cain. ever the protective big brother, tried to explain. He wasn't just saving Joe's life, he was saving Caleb from spending the rest of his life behind bars. But Caleb didn't see it that way. He accused Cain of putting the entire family in danger by letting Joe live. The fracture between them deepened. Meanwhile, Ruby, who has already been emotionally hanging by a thread, spiraled further. The tension is starting to affect her more deeply than even she realizes. But then Joe showed up. He looked Ruby in the eye, stared down Caleb, and made one thing very clear: our truce is over. And just like that, all hell officially broke loose. "You'll never be ready," Joe's chilling warning. Joe's final words in the episode weren't just ominous, they were terrifying. "You'll never be ready." It wasn't just a threat, it was a promise, a warning. A declaration that this war is far from over, and that Caleb, and everyone around him, is about to feel the full weight of his wrath. It's safe to say the game has changed. Joe Tate is no longer playing defense. He's going on the attack, and Caleb, Ruby, Cain, they're all standing on the edge of something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. Why this twist matters so much? Let's take a second to talk about the bigger picture here. What makes this story arc so compelling isn't just the secrets or the dramatic saves, it's the emotional complexity. Caleb isn't just angry, he's heartbroken. Someone took a piece of him, literally, and used it to save themselves. Cain, despite his rough exterior, is trying to protect his family from crumbling under the weight of vengeance. Ruby is caught in a crossfire she never asked for, and her emotional unraveling might become a major plotline in the coming weeks. And Joe? He's no longer just a villain, he's layered. Dangerous, yes, but also vulnerable, cunning, and unpredictable. What's next? Predictions and wild theories. With the truce officially shattered and no one backing down, here are a few burning questions that might shape the next phase of this explosive storyline. Will Joe retaliate in a way no one sees coming? He's smart, resourceful, and vengeful. A triple threat. Could Ruby become the key to peace? Or chaos? Her emotional instability might drive her to make desperate moves. Will Cain and Caleb's bond survive this? This isn't just a disagreement, it's a fundamental moral divide. What happens when the law gets involved? Someone's going to slip up, and when they do, the fallout will be massive. Final thoughts. Emmerdale is on fire right now, and we're here for it. There's a reason fans are glued to their screens right now. Emmerdale isn't just serving drama, it's diving deep into character, emotion, and the high-stakes consequences of betrayal. Cain saving Joe, that wasn't just a plot twist, it was a defining moment. One that's going to echo across the village for weeks, maybe even months. So buckle up, Emmerdale fans. The war between Caleb and Joe is far from over. And if you thought this week was intense, you haven't seen anything yet.